Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, June 3rd, 2024. I came across a movie from the Full Moon Pictures production line, which of course are the folks behind things like Demonic Toys and Puppet Master, and I think I've reviewed at least 10 or 12 movies from that particular studio. And they did one from 1996 called Oblivion 2 Backlash. Now, I don't think I ever saw Oblivion 1. I don't remember it at least, but I had read a number of different reviews that said, well, you don't really need to have watched the first one and the second one is better. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance on this because it's everywhere to watch for free. It's only 83 minutes long, and I recognize some of the Z movie stars, or B movie at the very least stars that were in it, including Carol Strucken, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Lurch from the original Addams Family series and the new movies, and the fireman in Twin Peaks, Musetta, I can't remember her last name, the woman who was the mother, Sindel, in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, Andrew Devoff, Wishmaster was in it, and I thought, okay, this is actually the only person missing really was Jeffrey Combs. But watching the movie, it was very obvious I did not need to watch the first film because the first 6 or 7 minutes of Oblivion 2 are a recap of Oblivion 1. You will get all the story you need in that opening 6 or 7 minutes. They were correct. You do not need to have watched the first one. And the rest of it, honestly, is a movie that's only going to appeal to a certain type of person, but those people will have a great appreciation for it. It is an adorable film from a lost period of time, which is when the Sci-Fi Channel was first getting started and they were putting on weird and interesting shows like Lex and Farscape. They would, in between those, and Stargate, when the Stargate SG-1 series was running, all that stuff, they would run movies and late at night that would be in between reruns of these, and you would see all these movies, and they were generally things like Full Moon Productions, that type of thing. Low budget, while not being completely shoddy, but still clearly lacking in any type of major budget or high-level stars, but things that were entertaining and fun, and you were just kind of happy to watch them because, again, this is the stuff you would only see pre-streaming, pre a lot of the things we have now. You would only be able to find these in these really weird, in the middle of the night, nobody's up, or a very small amount of sci-fi fans are up type of programming blocks. And this is exactly the kind of movie that I used to watch all the time. I'm sure Lando has, we've seen variations on this type of film before, and they're always entertaining. They're not really good, but they're also not terrible. I mean, there is effort being put forth in it. You do see these big names and kind of almost gimmick people like George Takei is in this one, as well as Julie Newmar, one of the original Catwomen from the Batman Adam West series. So you would see people like that pop up. There's actually some good stop motion that's used in the film. There's some neat little puppets. There's some good costuming in terms of masking. Yeah, if you got a real close-up on it, you can see the seams of it, but it works well enough, and everybody's doing interesting characters. And it just becomes this thing where you become less concerned about whether it really works as a movie, because there are definitely some narrative, things that don't hang together. There's a bit of a lack of narrative cohesion to the entire thing, and yet it never feels like it's falling apart. It never feels like it's a big deal that the story doesn't always seem to track, because it is just a fun movie that is essentially a sci-fi western. The planet of the town of Oblivion is on a planet where they are doing basically sci-fi western. So it's a western motif with laser guns and lizard men and super mine diamonds that are the greatest energy source in the universe, that type of thing. And it's just all the hijinks of a sheriff who's now in charge of the town that never really wanted to be a sheriff because he's a pacifist. And there's a local woman in town that he's really, really smitten with, but he can't get up the courage to be able to talk to her. And the second in command for him, or one of his two second in commands, one is Meg Foster with a cybernetic arm, which at no point really looks like a cybernetic arm. And the other one is a tracker, who is the stereotypical Native American kind of stock character you'd find in old westerns, except apparently even in the future on a different planet, that same person dresses the same way and essentially does the same things. At least he does not speak in terribly outdated and racist language. He's not doing the Kimosabe stuff from the Lone Ranger, but what he is there for visually and functionally is the same thing. So at least it's not that bad. So altogether, it's a fun movie. Like I said, it's a fun way to spend 80 some odd minutes. And if you're of a certain age and remember this stuff being on, you'll be transported right back to it. So again, 1996 is Oblivion 2 Backlash. Not really a good movie, but an adorably fun one worth seeing. Later.